Hello everyone, welcome back to my reaction channel. My name is Teddy90. Today we're going to be watching Death and Dynasties, a CPG Gray video. Here, let me put my webcam down a bit so you can see my hands moving. It's been a while since I watched this one. I think I actually missed this video. I'm not sure. I'll have to get into it before we start to know for sure. But if you're new here, go subscribe to Gray, go like his videos, and do everything else like that. I'm not the important one. I'm really not. Go support him in all the different fashions you can. I'm just some guy who is reacting to his 3-year-old video now, almost. Yeah, 3-year-old video now. Well, let's jump into it. I like to let the ads play at the beginning if there are ads to play at the beginning, or the ads to play at the end if there are ads to play at the end, just to give them their revenue, things like that. All creators deserve the revenue, things like that. It started playing right away, and unfortunately I can't rewind it, so we're just gonna have to live with the thing.
Face is drooping, Mom.
Probably nothing.
You're slurring. Raise your arms up in the air for me. Gracie, call 911.
I just
Honey? Oh, Dad! Tim!
Need an ambulance to 7th floor
Tim!
I didn't know the Heart and Stroke Foundation gave ads. That's interesting. But yeah, the signs of the stroke are obviously droop face, slurred speech, and raise your hands up in the air type of deal to see if you can actually get that done. Yeah. See if you can actually get that done.
He's having a stroke.
How you feeling?
I'm fine.
Well, you've had a stroke, but because you got here quickly, you're looking at a full recovery.
Yeah, there it is. Face drooping, arms raised, slurred speech, time to call 911, yeah. No. Okay, I thought it was only one ad? Or 2 ads? Is it 2 ads? I don't remember. There it is.
Put a limit on
Shaw.
screen time.
Shaw's a terrible company, by the way. Shaw's an awful company. Don't do anything with them.
I want less of these games and more of these games. Oh, that was good.
Take control of your Wi-Fi. Shaw Blue.
Also, that is an a-hole move. Turning off the internet for a modern, for Modern Family. That's a TV show, but like a modern family. That is so mean, beyond mean. That's such a boomer move.
Rulers are so...
Alright, now we can get into it. The first ad was pretty good. It actually taught you something. The second one, ugh. But I personally hate Shaw, so.
often related. Power passes from member to member, forming a dynasty. Not
Oh yeah, sorry about my little box being in the corner here. I had it a different way before, but it was like super blurry and stretched out, so I'm trying it this way, seeing if this way works. If it doesn't, sorry.
just with royalty or dictators, but also with representatives in a democracy. Families pass power or vie with other families for a turn at the top, much more than chance would have.
Yeah. It's easier to pass it father-son or mother-daughter or father-daughter, however you want to break the family cookie, than it is to have it go from one random person to another random person to another random person. It's almost inbred into our genes at this point. I think it comes from like the tribal eras. Like one family would have, or multiple families would have control of the tribe while we were still like tribal and things like that. And then it moved on to monarchies with one family going through the line, and then like, yeah. It's pretty much ingrained in our blood. You see it in Republics as well, as he's talking about the Kennedys, the Bushes. Those are the only two that come, the Clintons. Those are the ones that come off to the top of my head right away. I suppose the Trumps, but the Trumps really haven't had much power, save for him. Yeah, but you also see this in business. Businesses pass their power down to different people from the family instead of outside of the family. Humanity is interestingly based off of the familial unit, and then everything else is kind of secondary.
Dynasties seem so natural you may never have deeply considered them, but you must if you wish to grasp and hold power as long as possible. Even if you follow the rules for rulers we have discussed, swaying the keys to power.
Oh yeah, I watched the Rulers to Rulers video. I don't think I've watched this one. Did this one avoid me? That one's also a really good video. Go watch that one. It's basically keeping your top players happy. If you can keep your top players happy, or the people who got you into power happy, then you're in. But the moment they have somebody better, they're out of there.
power, securing the treasure and controlling the court. No man rules forever. Dictators with resources abundant and power unchallenged still die, and representatives must contend with death, both literal and political. But no matter what kind of ruler you are, your keys to power value their treasure. They keep you in your position not for love of you in particular, but for the rewards you provide in general. But dead rulers can't distribute.
I have a feeling he read Machiavelli to get a lot of these different perspectives, because Machiavelli talks a lot about this, with the idea that it's better to. I'm not gonna do him justice, but you either need to have the people on your side or the nobles on your side, or in this case, whoever happens to be here, like the generals and things like that, or you need the military on your side. The military is the easiest to have on your side, but it's also the most dangerous to have on your side because it's the most likely to just go, you're out of here. That type of deal. The nobility is the second easiest to have on your side, but again, much like the army, they could just hoist you out of there, or the businessmen, I suppose, in modern day times. But it's businessmen or nobles are easier to keep in check because they're all vying against each other, so you have to play them against each other. You can't have you have to constantly vie them against each other and things like that. And as for the people are the hardest to maintain on your side because the mob is fickle. People are smart, but the mass is stupid. That type of idiom. Yeah, so they're a lot more fickle to keep on your side. That's why mob mentality, things like that. That's why even in ancient Rome and things like that, they talked about how you don't really want to trust the mob. The mob will have a tendency to just kind of overthrow you just cause, even if you're doing good things for them. Yeah.
Treasure. Thus, as your grave approaches, your key supporters get nervous. Your impending death forces your keys to plan for your replacement, not just to maintain their treasure, but also because a dead ruler's surprise without plans in place will lead to a scramble for power at best and a blood...
Yeah, scramble for power and bloodshed. When people die, when rulers die, it gets messy. A good example of this is Alexander the Great. When he died, or got poisoned, however you want to say it, his empire that he built on, impressively, he conquered all the way down to India, conquered all of Egypt, all that other different type of stuff. The moment he died, it was just all the different generals were vying for power. It was the Ptolemies, the Phrygia, the Seleucids. I can't remember who got Macedon. Things like that. It became an utter and complete chaotic mess. You always need to have rules going down. But of course, sometimes you can make rules that are absolutely garbage. Like, in the Middle Ages, Gavelkind was the rule of the day. Gavelkind was giving all of your lands to all of your different children, or sons, really. Giving your lands to all the different children you have. Which also isn't that great of a logical idea.
Bloodbath at worst, leaving many keys on the inside now, on the outside after. This is why, if you happen to be sick, keep it secret. If your keys even think you might die on them, they must start planning for the next ruler to avoid this. Which is what makes even a rumor about the ruler's health concerning. Whispers about your health are a destabilizing poison in the minds of your key supporters, nearly impossible to remove. To the keys, your replacement is inevitable anyway, so why not start planning sooner?
There's also the case of sometimes the keys get tired with you, or the people in power get tired with you, and replace you with your son, or your son replaces you with him, and things like that, or your youngest son, or whatever. Happens all the time throughout history.
Thus, after a rumor, the keys might seem to stay on your side in their actions, but you're already dead in their minds. You've lost control and will lose your throne sooner than you like. But while you can't defend against the Reaper or extract poison from the minds of your key supporters, there is a way to defend your power in this world from rumors of your departure to the next. Family. family is the answer. Dictatorships and democracies have so much family rule because the key supporters want it. As your term limit or deathbed approach, your family is there, ready to keep turning the machinery of power, keep raising the treasure, keep the keys calm and plot free. Sure, warm-hearted rulers may want to give their family advantages, and being the ruler comes with many, but the key supporters also want the ruler's family in positions of power because the family that plots together rules together. Generational power transcending death and term limits. Thus, your keys get to worry less about transitions of power, and you get to worry less about...
Well, they say that until the family tree gets incredibly messy. Look at any genealogical thing of Europe, and you can see how the familial tree gets entirely messed up, and it can and does become an absolute mess.
Their plans for your replacement. While key supporters won't ever simply trust you and your family, the keys can look at the motivating interests of you all, calculating that sticking with your family during a transition gives them better odds of staying on the inside because they know you and your relatives also calculate sticking with the keys during a transition gives you better odds of staying on the throne. It's a virtuous cycle, formed by calculations that are like trust, but better. The ruler gets to rule longer, the keys get to worry less, and everything is smooth because when the king is dead, long live the king. So put family in high-ranking military, business, or political positions. Never mind their qualifications, because being family is the qualification. They must work with your key supporters so they know where the money comes from and how it is distributed. Families' relationships with the keys keep everyone calm, not just during the transition, but more...
Now, of course, this doesn't cover the fact that sometimes these keys that you have picked... Sorry. Sometimes the keys that you have picked end up becoming less and less powerful, but you don't really notice it if you're the ruling family because they've always been like some of your key supporters. And if other groups outside of these main keys become too powerful, this entire thing can get overturned like the apple cart. You see it time and time again. You see it with after the Black Death, the peasants and things like that in the merchant class gain more power because there's less of them, which might not seem logical, but they gained less power because there was less of them, so they had more bargaining power. So a lot of the key nobility ended up losing a lot of the power to like the different merchant classes, things like that, and that's why you saw a slow growth towards, especially in England and different countries, a growth away from medieval feudalism towards more constitutional monarchy type things. Of course, some countries went the exact opposite route. Look at Prussia or look at Russia. Of course, Russia eventually became the Soviet Union. That was a bit different. That was both the keys and the rulers, A, running out of treasure, and B, being absolute morons. But, yeah, sometimes there is a growing nebulous force outside that is more powerful than the main keys. So if you're a ruler, or if you're a businessman and things like that, you always need to be keeping an eye out for seeing who is the up-and-comers who could potentially threaten these guys. Of course, they could eventually become so powerful that they can threaten you, but that's not necessarily the issue. You need to... They don't start as powerful as that unless they're an outside enemy looking in. If they're internal and they're becoming more powerful than your key supporters, you're going to want to start either breaking their power or supporting their power to gain more power for yourself and removing one of these key players.
More importantly for you and your political longevity preceding it. So even if you have no interest in a spouse and have no love for babies, nonetheless acquire them. Of course, the risk you run with family is they too will overthrow you.
Yeah.
Many a cunning prince has stabbed his king in the back once confident the keys won't mind. But nothing is certain.
Also, they do that even if they don't know the keys don't mind. People are idiots. You see that a lot, where a country gets overthrown because the guy is just ruthlessly ambitious, kills his father, and then the entire country goes up in flames because the key supporters didn't really want that. The brother who he was trying to usurp didn't really want that. Or the younger brother, if it was the older brother who killed the king, was like, obviously you're not fit to rule, you killed the king. Yeah, no, so people are messy.
You can only play the odds, and a ruler without family is more vulnerable to rivals and rumors. Remember, your keys care about the security of their treasure in general, not you in particular. And for them,
It's very rare to see a ruler who has the love and support of the people completely on his side just because of who he is or who she is. There are cases of that throughout history, but it's incredibly rare, and most of the time it is because they were giving vast amounts of treasure and things like that. It's incredibly hard to gain personal loyalty unless you're giving them gifts, treasure, money, things like that.
a family of rulers is a safer investment. Thus, possible regicide is the price you pay for buying the longer and securer reign a family brings, which is why families are so popular among rulers and their key supporters. Family is a tool for maintaining power, just like any other.
Yes, sir. Go buy his merch, all that other different type of stuff. He deserves all the love and support that you can ever possibly give him. He is infinitely more talented and everything else like that. So go sub to him, go like his videos and things like that. If you liked my reaction, if you liked my commentary on it, you know what, I'm going to stop calling this a reaction. I'm going to call it commentary. Because reaction makes it seem like I'm doing nothing. I try to add anyway, that doesn't matter. If you like my commentary on the matter, give me a like, give me a sub, different things like that. Tell me what you think I did right or wrong in the comments, things like that. I love hearing feedback. Don't just hit the dislike if you disliked the video. Please give me feedback of what you disliked so I can attempt to change it if there is any possible way for me to do that. Go join my Twitch, go join my Discord, all that other good stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Love, butts, and happiness, and all that other good stuff. And I'll see you, well, whenever I do the next video.